To you. I hope that you're doing well this evening. We're about to have this conversation real quick, and I won't be holding you long. So today we're going to talk about a few things that's really not talked about a lot of times in Freemasonry. If you're able to hear me, please hit the tap button tonight. So we're going to have this conversation. I just decided to come on tonight. I was just up here recently, just doing some reading, and I thought that I want to share some things with you because it's just was interesting. You know, a lot of people who join this craft join it for a variety of different reasons, but this craft must be in your heart. As a man, as an individual who's looking to become a Mason, this first must be here. If it's not here, it's not going to work. Let me explain this to you. When you enter the Masonic Lodge, the brotherhood, not everybody, but when you enter the brotherhood of Freemasonry, you must understand a couple of things. We are going to have our disagreements, but those disagreements should not come into such a discourse with you and the brotherhood. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, I'm saying it shouldn't. Because if masonry is in your heart, then you and your Masonic brothers, you and that person who you call your lodge brother, should be able to sit down at the table and discuss your issues. You can agree to disagree, but you never come to a point to say that you wouldn't aid that person. Now, I granted, I know that brothers of the craft and even sisters of the order have their disagreements. But when you're looking at everything for what it's worth, you should understand that if it's not in your heart, it's not going to come out. If this is not in your heart, it's not going to show outward. You're going to give a lot of rhetoric, you're going to give a lot of talk, but it's not going to show outward. And I know that people like to bring, I've seen it. Let me say this here, I've seen it. To where individuals who are Masons, and even some Eastern Stars, they have brought a street mentality to Freemasonry. I'm going to say this again. There are some individuals in the craft who have brought a street mentality to the Order of the Eastern Star and also to Freemasonry. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, what do you mean? How do you figure that? And I'm going to share this with you. You see, in a large setting, in a Masonic lodge or in an Eastern Star chapter sitting, as I said before, you're not going to agree with someone. And you can agree to disagree, but because I don't agree with you, don't pin me against my brother or my sister. I'm going to say that again. Just because I don't agree with you, don't put me against my other brothers and sisters. Because I don't agree with you. We're all brothers and sisters in the order and in the craft. So therefore, I'm not going to put myself in the center of grown folks' business. If you two don't agree and we are friends, that's between you two. Don't bring me in it. And I'm not going to take sides. Because when that happens, you destroy the harmony within the order of the chapter. You destroy the harmony within the lodge. You tell me harmony being the strength of all society, more special of ours, but you destroy that when you try to bring a brother or a sister in the middle of a subject that you may disagree on and make them try to take sides. When they're clearly said, I'm not taking a side in this. I can agree to disagree. I see what you're saying, I see what she's saying. Or I see what you're saying, I see. No, I'm not going to do that. But this is some of the things that we do. We bring in that street mentality into a society that is supposed to be assisting and aiding you to be that better person. You know, encouraging you to do the right thing when nobody's around, encouraging you to step up a little bit. You know, so this is what we have to be able to really bring about. And as I was saying the other evening, and I'll say this again, there are some female attributes within Freemasonry. Oh, I said the wrong thing, right? I'm going to share this with you. This is a fact. This is a fact. There are some female attributes within Freemasonry, but what happens is some of us are so docile till we don't even see them. And tonight I'm going to point this out to you. Now, you can find this in a lot of Masonic books. This is no, I'm not sharing no secrets or nothing like this. You can actually go and look this up for yourself. And I'm going to tell you what are those attributes are. Greetings to everybody who's coming in. What's going on, Ted? What's going on, Jacqueline? I appreciate you putting in, Brother Pitts. Thank you. Moody, what's going on with you? I think I seen Brother Nico Sanchez came up. Captain, what's happening with you? Market, what's going on with you? What's happening, Alex? Everybody. Now, if I miss your name, greetings to you also. Marine World, if I'm not I think that says Marine World. Maria World, if I'm not mistaken, greetings to you. Don't mean to mess up anybody's name. Greetings. I appreciate you coming in tonight and joining me in this discussion of Freemasonry. It has to be in the heart of the person who's seeking admission into becoming a Freemason. If it's not there, you're not going to enjoy the craft. I'm going to say this again for those in the back row. If you are looking to be a Mason or even an Eastern Star, if it's not in your heart, you're not going to enjoy it. If you're looking for a good party, if you're looking just to hang out, if it ain't in your heart to be there, it ain't gonna work for you. It is not going to work for you. A lot of people come through the doors of the Order of the Eastern Star. A lot of people come through the doors of Freemasonry, and you be like, nah. You know why you do that? Because you don't apply yourself. It was never in you to really come out and to be part of this particular society of the Freemasons or the or the sisterhood of the Eastern Star. You joined because your best friend joined. You joined because your dad or your mama was an Eastern Star or your daddy was a Mason. So those are, but you didn't join because of your own reason. So therefore, if you're not going to get the same enjoyment out of it that your mother got when she was an Eastern Star, that your father got when he was a Mason. You know, I've heard so many times individuals say, I joined because, man, I remember when the old cats would come and do this and they did that. I get that. I really understand that. But why did your specifically reason for joining was because of them, and now that you're there, what are you getting? What are you bringing? What does that look like for you? That's the question many of you got to ask yourself. What does that look like for you? Because if it's not in your heart, it's not going to work. But when you understand a few things, I'm going to switch that. When you understand a few things, such as the female attributes of Masonry. Y'all probably looking at me like I'm crazy, but I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to give it to you. As much as some of you probably think I've lost my mind, I'm going to give you the female attributes of Masonry. And you can go look this up for yourself, because each one of them, when you see them, is going to be a female. Okay? It's going to be prudence, fortitude, temperance, and justice. I'm going to say that again. For those of you who are not Masons or whatever, yeah, this is in the books. This is a book I was reading. It's publicly. You can go pick it up. You can buy it. So I don't need nobody calling me, telling you, you spreading secrets. This is no secret. I'm just telling you that these are the 4 cardinal virtues representing in Freemasonry, and they're all females when you look at the pictures, okay? And that is, one holds an apple in her hand, one holds a broken column, one has a set of scales, okay? So when you begin to look at these females' attributes, or the 4 virtual cardinals, you're going to see fortitude, prudence, temperance, and justice. But if those things are not in your heart, why are you even here? Oh, I'm here because my Grand Lodge is regular and we this and we... No! No! That's not why you should be here. It's really not. I can't tell you why you should be here, but I can tell you that's not why you should be here. Absolutely not. You should be... No, I'm not going to say you should be here. I'm going to say that you should define your own reasoning for being a Mason, and that is going to definitely help that lodge become better and successful, and it's going to help those brothers around you to grow, and it's going to help you to grow also. And if that's not one of the reasons you were there, then something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong, because what is happening within the framework of Freemasonry is that we have a street mentality in there now. Yeah, we do. We have a street mentality in Freemasonry, and I'll tell you, if you can harness that, it can really do some good. But if it's not harnessed and it's not grown and disciplined, if it's not none of that, it's not going to do your jurisdiction or your lodge any good. It's totally not, because the street mentality can spread. Oh, you running with him tonight? You ain't gonna hang with me? Well, I ain't messing with. See, that whole thing can spread because of the street mentality. However, if you reverse that, if you look at this and say, hey, bro, I see you have some differences with brother such and such. You know what? Y'all need to sit down and work that out. And then if you can agree to disagree, great. But if not, you're not going to bring that disharmony here. You're not going to do that. Absolutely. Because what happens is you disrupt the harmony, you disrupt the lodge. Okay? It doesn't go forward. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. When you disrupt the chapter, you disrupt the harmony. The chapter then doesn't grow. You have to be able to move with the times. Things are switching and changing, but you also want to be able to hold on to those customs that made Masonry and Eastern Star a special organization. And I think that we're losing it. That's my opinion, just on what I see and things that come up. I'm just saying, I think that we're losing the very thing that made the Masons and Eastern Star special. We're losing it not only because we ourselves at times do not want to abide by our own rules and regulations that's supposed to govern us, but what we've done is we've turned this thing more into a social club instead of a organization that deals in philosophy and understanding and teaching of knowledge. We've totally thrown that out the door. How often have you gone to your chapter or Eastern Star meeting or your Masonic Lodge meeting and you've really gotten a good lecture in dealing in knowledge and understanding of a variety of things that may come up? How many of you have ever typed out a 2 or 3 page lecture and said, tonight, this is the lecture for the lodge? Instead of going to your meetings and, you're doing that other stuff. How often does that happen when you go into your lodge meeting? You're actually talking about meaningful things that not only affects the lodge, but what it does, it enhances you. Be it esoteric or esoteric. Philosophy. How often are you dealing in those types of conversations of the ancient customs of Freemasonry? How often are you doing that? Because a lot of people who come into Freemasonry, they look for that, but when they get to your lodge, it ain't happening. They look to talk about Manly P. Hall, but it ain't happening. They look to talk about those other authors, even some of our black authors, like my brother out of Philly, Salim, out of Philly. Great author, great book. I got both of his books. And he has some great stuff in his books. But how often do we break those books down and begin to crack them open and say, oh, okay, I see what he means here. I see what's so special about the Masonic apron. How many of you go over into your lodge and you put on that apron, you wonder, why is the apron so special to Masons? Why is it? So we're going to talk about that too. But I'm going to get back to something I said earlier. And greetings to you. I hope everybody's coming in. Please hit the like button. Thank you for coming in tonight. Not only that, wherever you at, send your lodge, your grand lodge a shout out. You can do that too. But I'm going to go back to something I said when I talked about those 4 cardinals that represents a feminine side of Masonry. And I told you that there was fortitude. I told you that it was temperance, justice, and prudence. That's what I said. So let's take a look at what they are. So we're going to take a look at fortitude, right? Fortitude. It is mentioned as such in the Bible, but courage is. Fortitude is courage, okay? And courage is another word that is used. We can safely claim that Fortitude symbolizes courage. Fortitude is used by Masons, but do not refer to a physical courage only. Listen to that. Fortitude is used by Mason, but it doesn't always rely or look to it as a physical courage only. Okay? So when you think of fortitude, you think of courage, but is courage always physical? That's a feminine side that you don't get. There's some energy that is flowing within the Masonic order that we don't even get. We don't. Because we don't talk about that way. It's not coming to you that way, so it doesn't happen that way. You know? Little short dreads out of Mexico. Greetings, what's happening with you? Glad to have you out with us today. So when you take a look at fortitude, now we have an understanding of fortitude, right? So let's take a look at temperance. Temperance symbolizes restraint. By practicing this virtue, all Masons are required to place a restraint upon their passion. A restraint upon your passion. What do you come here to do? To learn and to subdue my passion. Those are the two things that you should understand when you are into apprentice, that you are learning to subdue those things that pulls you into places that you know you really shouldn't go. We all got those things that we're passionate about, right? And some of those things we have to be able to symbolize in our head and take forth those working tools that is handed to us and begin to work on those things that helps us to become better instead of dragging us down. And some passions that we have may drag us down. A lot of us take on those passions. They really take over who we are. So that's what temperance symbolizes, a restraint on your passion, right? It didn't say that you had to get rid of them, but it restrains your passion. All right? Passion is good. There's nothing wrong with having passion. It's when your passion overcomes you and you're not able to think logically about a situation that is at hand. You were so angry, your passion, you allowed your passion to turn into anger. And then you reacted instead of saying, okay, let me take a breath. Will that in. Breathe. Think logically before I act, because are you willing to suffer the consequences to your actions? I blanked out, So let's take a look. That's temperance. Now let's take a look at prudence. Prudence is a symbol of wisdom. Okay, anciently it was wisdom that was the cardinal virtue, and changing in prudence doesn't change its nature. So when you look at prudence, it is a symbol of nature. Nature doesn't change. Nature doesn't change. And that's something we don't talk about a lot in our Masonic meetings. It is what it is. We don't. Nature don't change. Nature tells you how one should carry himself. Michael Jackson, Human Nature. But you must take on temperance. You must take on fortitude to find that balance. And this is the thing a lot of us don't get. We don't do that for ourselves. We don't find the balance. We don't. I'd like to welcome everybody who's coming in. Please put something in the chat. Let me know you're here. If you want to call in after I'm done, you're certainly welcome to call in. You are certainly welcome to call in. That number is 619-286-0642. You can not only can you follow me here, you can also go on to the TikTok channel and follow me over there. I'm also beginning to start something up on Fanbase. So, I'm just trying to spread out a little bit, but those are the places you can kind of catch me at here and there. So please, if you want to call in just a little while, the lines will be open. 619-286-0642. If Nico is still in here, put that in the chat for me, brother Nico, if you're still in here. All right? I appreciate it. So the next thing we're going to talk about, we've talked about fortitude, we talked about prudence, we talked about temperance, justice. Justice is another female attribute which is inside of Freemasonry. Justice. What does that look like? Let's see. It says justice is a practice Masonically, symbolizes equality, Justice is usually practiced as a blindfolded woman holding a set of scales and a sword. And I often say this, and I want you to hear me clearly. Justice isn't blind. Okay? Justice isn't blind. Only those who refuse to distribute justice equally are blind. Justice was never blind. No, those scales that is balanced with that sword to give justice to those who needed it, justice isn't blind. Only those who have the power to distribute justice, they are blind to the righteousness of what they're supposed to be doing in the position for which they hold. So you get a lot of leaders, no matter what genre, who are leaders, but when something happens, they fail to deliver justice. And even at times when they do deliver justice, some people say, well, you didn't do this for such and such. What? You didn't do her that way, or you didn't do him that way. You're just doing it to me. You're biased. Brother, do you realize what you just did? Sister, do you realize what you just did? Or may have said? You take no responsibilities at all? You don't say, hey, you know what? My bad. I really fucked up. I was on me. Now, my bad. I did that. But you want justice. But you don't take responsibility for your part in the situation. Come on now. Come on. You got to do better than that. That's all I'm saying. You got to do better than that. So those are your 4 things that you look for, right? Fortitude, prudence, justice, right? And temperance. Those are the 4 feminine energy that flows within Freemasonry. When you go and look at those pictures of those 4 cardinals, they're all females. That's a fact. They're all females. Now, check this out. So for those Masons, for those of you who love to wear that Masonic apron, oh, you love the Masonic apron, right? And I know a lot of young people see the men in their aprons and their black and white suits, and they're like, man, I can't wait till I'm 18 or 21. I want to put that Masonic apron on. I want to represent. But have anybody ever told you when you became a Mason, what made that apron so special? That's the question. I know what you've heard. It is a badge of a Mason. I know you've heard that. But what makes that apron so special? That's the question. What makes it so valuable? What makes that apron so valuable? I know a lot of you Masons out here, you wear nice aprons and some of them are very elaborate. They have also, but what makes that apron so special? What? What is it? You know? Is it because the Grand Master gave it to you and signed his name on it? Is it because the Wishful Master gave it to you, signed his name on it? Is it because you're a Mason now and you get to wear the apron? Why is that apron what it is? What makes it so special? We're going to cover that in just a second here. I got to underline some things because I really want to be able to share this light with you tonight. So when you become a Mason, you're going to understand why that apron is so important. That's what I want you to know. First, I want you to know that in order to be a successful Mason, in order to really enjoy the craft, it has to be in your heart. If it's not there, don't waste your time. Period. That goes for the sisters too. I'm going to say the same thing. If being an Eastern Star is not in your heart, don't even waste your time. Don't do that to yourself. If you're not interested in learning about the true attributes of the womanhood, don't waste your time becoming an Eastern Star. Plain and simple. If you're not interested in what it is to be a true sister, a true friend, a true mother, a true wife, a true daughter, if that's not something you're interested in, don't become an Eastern Star. Don't do it. Don't do it because of your friends who are already there. Don't do that for you. Become an Eastern Star for yourself. Become a Mason for yourself. If it's not in your heart, either way, sisters, don't do it. Brothers, don't do that to yourself. Because for the brothers, you're not going to understand how to receive your wages. Plain and simple. I'm going to say this again. Brothers, if it's not in your heart, you're not going to be able to understand how to receive your wages. You're not. I mean, it's what it is. And that comes along in the end game. And I'm not necessarily talking about monetary wages. I'm actually talking about a symbolism of what it is to be a Mason and amongst the brotherhood, no matter where you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. All right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. So let's take a look at the apron, right? They said the apron is more ancient than the golden fleece or Roman eagle. I'm going to say that again. They said the apron is more ancient than the golden fleece or Roman eagle. That's what they say about the apron. But now you got to ask yourself these two questions. Why the golden fleece and why the Roman eagle? It's always the why. People tell you something now, answer the why. Why is it more ancient than the golden fleece or the Roman eagle? I'm going to answer that question. The Order of the Golden Fleece was founded in 1429. That's before Freemasons. I'm going to say that again. The Order of the Golden Fleece was founded in 1429 before the Freemasons. And they wore aprons. All right? Then it says, or the Roman eagle. Well, let's take a look at the Roman eagle. The Roman eagle was the Roman insignia for a century before the Christian era. Your apron is more honorable. It is more honorable than that. So, in other words, the apron was before the what we know as the Christian era, and it meant something to have it on you. Okay, that's why they call it a badge. That's why it's also supposed to be a white lambskin, which represents purity. All right, so you got that right. So we're gonna go on. We're gonna look at it again. I'm gonna say this again. The Roman eagle was the Roman insignia a century before the Christian era. That's why it is older than the golden fleece of Rome, which was founded in 1429, and it's also the Roman eagle. Okay, we got that. All right. Then you're going to say your apron is more honorable than the Star of Garter. Ooh, the Star of Garter. The Star of Garter. Now, some of you are going to wonder, well, what is the Star of Garter? Come on, talk back to me, somebody. What is the Star of Garter? Because I think a lot of us miss that. You know, a lot of us miss that. The Star of Garter. All right, so the Star of Garter is simple. The Star of Garter was created in the middle of the 14th century. The Order of the Garter was founded in England in 1339. Again, older than Freemasonry. All right? So that's why the apron is so important to Freemasons who wear them or who wears it. That's why it should be important. Okay? That's why it should be important. Because it's older than the golden fleece of Rome or the Roman eagle. All right? And not only that, it is older, it is more honorable than the Star of Garter. The Order of the Star of Garter was created in the middle of the 14th century, and the Garter was the founder of England in 1349. Meaning that this apron that we wear, man, it means a lot. It really means something to those who cherish the apron and what it's supposed to represent. So when you or your members give someone a Masonic apron, it should mean something. They should be able to wear that with honor and dignity. When a person is receiving a Masonic apron who's not a Mason, it means something. Yeah, check that out for yourself. The apron, purity of life, which he is to aim and possession and exhibiting to the world. Absolutely, Marcus. That's a fact. You know, and that's just to add to what I was saying, and I really appreciate that, definitely. All right. But it says also, it is only to be more honorable if the person who wearing it is worthy of wearing it. It's only more honorable in the end. After all of that, it is only more honorable if the person who's wearing it is worthy of wearing the apron. You know why that person is worthy of wearing the apron? Because that person understands temperance, prudence, justice, and fortitude. He gets it. It's in his heart. So when he puts on the apron, it all clicks. Now it all came together. When he puts it on, it all comes together. But what do we do with it? We take it when we just throw it around. We just do the thing. And you know what I'm very what I really like. I got it on my wall here. I'm gonna share it with you. That apron right there. You see that apron right there? That is my past Grand Master's apron from George R. Adams. That's his past Wishful Master's apron up there, okay? He gave me that apron when he had gotten older and he was like really getting ready to check out of here. He said, look in my closet. I looked in the closet. I said, man, this apron is old. He said, that's my first Wishful Master apron. That is my apron. You can have it. I framed it. It's definitely older than me being a Mason. I've been here almost 39 years. I'm ready at 40 years now. I'm here 40 years almost. And that apron is older than that. So to have that Masonic apron on my wall right there really means a lot to me. It really means a whole lot to me. And some people will never get it. They'll never understand it. Never understand it. Much love to you. How you doing, everybody that's popping in? I appreciate it. The golden fleece is an esoteric allusion to the Greek myth of Jason. And to search for the golden fleece, and to search for the golden fleece, ram fleets. A lamb is a baby ram. It alludes to Christ's nature, lamb. Ooh, I like that. But that's the thing. Those are the things we should be really getting down in our Masonic meetings about, bruh. You know it. A lot of brothers don't get that teaching. They don't. And that's what separates a lot of Masonic lodges. Whether you consider them irregular, clandestine, or bogus, whatever you want to call them. That is what separates them, because a lot of lodges gets down like that I know of. I don't know about you, but a lot of the brothers I talk to, that's how we get down. That's a fact. When we have our Zoom meetings, we go into stuff like this. And that's what I really, really enjoy. What's going on with your Spirit of Justice? Welcome back. I'm an EA. My apron needs some fancy colors. No, man, don't. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. I hope tonight, as you grow into being an apprentice, you would see the value of that apron and what it should mean to you as a Mason, my brother. Peace and greetings to you also. I want to thank everybody for popping in. I certainly appreciate your comments. So tonight we're covering a few things, and I hope that as we cover these things, that you would then be able to see and understand why Masons should be in your heart first. Not because somebody else joined and you wanted to follow them, but for you. Purposely for you. Where should it set with you? When you are able to answer that question, it's a wrap. Because then everything else is going to fall into place. You're going to understand why you must have justice, temperance, prudence, and fortitude. You're going to understand why the apron is a white lambskin apron. You're going to understand because what's in the heart is going to eventually come out. Oh man, let me say it again. What's in the heart is eventually going to come out. You're not going to be able to hold it very long. And when you understand those 4 cardinals that I just named and how they play a part in helping you to become the best Mason that you can be, it all comes together. It all comes together. Absolutely. So as you get into Masonry, as you begin to break that down, in every degree, you probably heard me say this before, every degree that you would get from the 4th degree all the way up to the Royal Lodge, you will get working tools. You will get working tools. That has a symbolic meaning behind them to teach you valuable lessons in life. You're going to get those working tools. Now, when you become a raw arch mason, after that, you get no more working tools. You're going to get instruments of war. What do you mean, instruments of war? Because then you're going to get your sword or your sword. It's an instrument of war. That's what's going to be given to you. And then your working tools that was given to you, when you begin to go into the previous degrees, they're going to be used for something totally different. I'm telling you, they're going to be used for something totally different. And you're not going to find it out until you go into these previous degrees that's above you. That's a fact. You could tell me about the square, the compass, the plumb. You could tell me about it all and what it means to you right now as a master mason. But I guarantee you, when you go into these previous degrees, that's going to change. If you get into the stories and the legend, it's a beautiful thing because it applies to your life. And when you're able to bring that into full circle, with a dot in the center, and you find the balance that you need, you're going to have an aha moment. Absolutely. Brownwood, Texas. I'm going to petition soon. I have a wonderful sponsor working with me currently. Can't wait to join. You're a good Mason. It shows itself. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate you stopping by. But when you join, man, just have respect for all the brothers. Have respect for the sisters. Even, man, just dignity, respect, and honor. Hold that close to yourself. So if you see another brother in your lodge, your grand lodge, may not necessarily agree with them or whatever that may look like, always show some respect to the next Mason, period. Especially when he has proven himself to be such. A little dignity or a little respect. You never know who you're crossing. You never know who you're coming across. You don't. Now, if y'all don't click and you don't get along, part, go your separate ways. Leave it at that. But if you come across a brother of another Masonic jurisdiction, whatever it may be, show some dignity and respect and keep it moving. Because you never know. Now, that's a fact. That's a fact. So those of you who, when you enter your lodge, you are considered to be a rough ashlar. Okay? A rough ashlar. And I would say this, in the United States, this is in a book. You can go pick up any book and read it. I don't want nobody saying that I'm giving away any secrets. You can go do this yourself. So in the United States, they tell you that, you know, there's a lot of Masonic cornerstones. Cornerstones are laid in the northeast corner of most buildings, and they're done by Masonic Grand Lodges. I'm going to say that again. Most buildings have a cornerstone, okay? Most buildings have a cornerstone. And it's going to be in the left part of that building. If you go over there, you're going to probably see something that would show a Masonic emblem on there. That is to tell you that that building, that cornerstone was laid by speculative Masons. It was put in place by operative Masons. I'm going to say that again. Most buildings, northeast corner, you're going to see a plaque of some sort in the northeast corner of that lodge because it is the foundation of that lodge. And in most cases, you will see a Masonic emblem there. That is to tell you that speculative Masons laid that cornerstone. Operative Masons put that cornerstone in its rightful place. So it was speculatively, meaning that they took the instruments of a Mason and placed it upon the object of that cornerstone. They made sure it was plumb, leveled, and squared, symbolically. Then the operative Masons came behind the speculative Masons and made sure and placed into that wall in the northeast corner that it was laid, squared, plumb, and level. That's what they did. That's how both of them are able to work together. It's a fact. You just go look for yourself. A lot of your churches have them. A lot of schools have them. Government offices building have them. Northeast corner. Go check it out. Just when you have an opportunity, you're at a building of some sort, check out the northeast corner of the main structure of the building, and you're going to find a cornerstone. It's going to say this building has been dedicated to such and such, or this building was. It's going to have that marking on there. That's a fact, and that's what we should definitely take into consideration when we're doing that. Greetings to everybody who's coming on. So tonight, our conversation has been about Freemasonry, it being in your heart. The Order of the Eastern Star should be in your heart. All right? And in each one of those teach you lessons in regards to life that should be shared within the framework of your lodge and your chapter. The Eastern Stars in that chapter meeting should be influencing you on how to be the best friend, the best sister, the best daughter, the best wife. And in life, you're going to become a widow if you're married. Okay? Now, with that being said, in the lodge, you should be getting a better understanding of what it is to be in your youth, your manhood, and your age. All right? So when you bring that together in the Masonic era, then you're going to be handed these working tools and be able to apply them spiritually. Spiritually, not physically, but spiritually to your life journey. And then when you enter the Royal Arch, you'll be given another set of working tools. And then after that, you'll be given an instrument of war, which is a sword. You'll get that when you get to the Knights of Templars, the Knights of Maltas, and all of that. But when you change over and go into your American Scottish Rite degree work, you're going to be given not only a sword, but you're going to talk philosophy. You're going to talk about astrology. Okay, those are the conversations you should be having in your Scottish Rite meetings. Real talk. Go back and if you're in the upper houses and you're 32nd, 14th degree, 12th degree, whatever, on the Scottish Rite side, go back and read those degrees. They talk about astrology. They talk about the signs. You know, if you're Sagittarius, you're Leo, Aquarius, they talk about the signs. If you don't believe me, just go read it for yourself. And then we can have the conversation. That's just what it is. But when you are into apprentice and you're coming into the order itself, things sort of you have to be kind of cautious and watch. That's why when I had Sister Natalie on just the other evening, and we was talking, and she was saying how long that it actually takes for an individual in her jurisdiction to actually move to the next degree. You should be informed and writing papers and having a better understanding and putting things in perspective when you're that an apprentice. She said that an apprentice do not speak in the lodge. They only speak when they go to refreshments. I'm just saying. Whatever works for your lodge, works for your lodge. Whatever works for your chapter, works for your chapter. But we must be able to take forth and understand the workings in this great society of Freemasonry for what we are partaking in, for what we are a part of. This is a thing that should be taught in your lodges, in my opinion. Because people enter the fraternal order of the craft of a variety of reasons. And I can tell you one of the reasons is definitely for its mysticism. Absolutely it is. Because there's where you're going to find the crust of those things that happens in life, and you bring that full circle. Absolutely. The teachings alone, when taught, are beautifully illustrated in what it's supposed to be. Absolutely it is. And that is something I think that we should really consider, especially when we're talking about the apron and what it means, especially when we're talking about the four cardinals and the feminism and the feminine energy that's supposed to flow through, especially when you're talking about opening and closing your lodge when incense are supposed to be flowing through the air, so you catch that on the way home. And especially when you who are in the lodge, you understand that there's a broken column in your lodge. Well, why do you have a broken column? These things play a vital part in understanding the craft and what it should mean. Absolutely. Absolutely. Once you're able to navigate that system and have a better understanding of the craft, there's a whole nother thing that's happening. I'm going to say that again. Once you understand the craft in that system, a whole nother thing is happening. So look, I'm going to give out this number once again. And if you want to call in, I'm going to be on here just for a little while longer. If you want to call in, you got questions tonight, you're certainly welcome to do so. That number is going to be 619-286-0642. If you want to call in tonight, please go right ahead. Call in. Let's have that conversation. You got something you want to ask, and you may not know how you want to ask the question. Certainly, let's do that. Let's have that conversation. I think that's one of the best things that you can do for yourself. In my own opinion, that is. Once again, please hit the like button, and let's see. I'm gonna put this number here for you to call in. If you want to call in, 619-286-0642. If you want to call in tonight, you're certainly welcome to do so tonight, okay? Don't be calling me at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Hey, bruh, you live? I've actually gotten that call. Hey, man, you live and watching your live show right now? I'm like, no, bruh. That was a few hours ago. I'm not live. You can call me back tomorrow. I'm okay with that. But definitely, you can do that right now if you want to. That'll be the call-in number. I just posted it up there for you. So if you want to call in tonight, you can definitely hit me at that number and give me a call in, and we can continue this conversation just for a little while longer. And if you got questions that you want to ask, please do ask those questions, because I would tell you a lot of times people have questions, but they don't know how to ask. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. My thing is that for those who are interested in masonry and those who are masons, I want you to get everything you want to get out of it. I want you to enjoy the craft and the mysticism and the esoteric. I want you to enjoy all of that. I got my friend on here tonight. He hadn't said much, but from New York, out of New York, my boy from out of New York. Dang it. I want to call him Blue Magic, but it's not Blue Magic. That's the name of his lodge. And, he and I, we talk here and there, shucks, I can't even think of his name right now. Oh, man, he gonna have a fit. He gonna say, Brother Hawkins, you mean to tell me, man, you couldn't even think of my name? Come on, Brother Tony. As much as you and I, he has a real slow New York accent about himself. He and I talk often. I want to give him a big shout out. He's a part of Blue Magic Lodge out of New York, and he knows exactly who I'm talking about. I can't even think of his name. Oh my goodness. But definitely, if you want to call in tonight, you're certainly welcome to do so, and we can have this conversation. Maybe it's something that I missed and you got a question or anything like that. Because as I said, if it's not in your heart, man, ain't no need you even being here. And I don't care what jurisdiction you're in. Really. The warrior. I heard that. Pray for you, huh? Okay. All right. Hey, it is said that every Mason should remember his brothers in his prayers. It says that. So for me to you, yeah, definitely. Hey, bro, it's all good. It's all good. Definitely. It's all good. If you want to look, I know some of you have emailed me about some things that I said I would send to you. My sincere apology. I get busy. There's a lot of things that are happening Masonically that's going on in my jurisdiction. And I forget, man. I go out left field. I'm telling you, it does. I get the emails. I'm going to tell you, I get the emails. Hey, Brother Tony, can you send me such and such? My intentions are good, and it may not happen. And it's not that I don't have it, but it's the truth. And I'm not going to sit here and BS you. you know. So if I remember, great. If I don't throw it in my face. Say, man, you did. I apologize. I want you to know that right now, so you don't come back and hold that on me. I just want to let you know right off the top, right off the top. So with that being said, if there's anything else from me that you want me to discuss or talk about, that would be great. But our next subject is going to be on the heavenly bodies. Yeah, the heavenly bodies, the sun, the moon, and the stars. That's going to be the next one. That's going to be, because what happens, let me tell you, this is the thing that gets me, right? This is what excites me in my lodge, in my jurisdiction, is because I have brothers who enjoy the essence and the esoteric, and they enjoy that stuff. So when they come to the meetings, because what we'll do, this is what we'll do here. I can't talk about nobody else. This is what we'll do. Since we have brothers that are spread throughout the United States, when we have our lodge meetings, we'll have Zoom at the same time. Zoom them right on in. And in the process, they have questions they can ask. We got something going on, they can participate. So it gives them that particular enjoyment. Absolutely. That's how we do it here. You know, I like I said, I can't talk about nobody else. And we do that because, you know, a lot of brothers from various jurisdictions are able to tune in that way. We know who they are. You know, hey man, can I peep in? Are you giving glory to God or glory to your race? Both. Both. Absolutely both. You can't say I can't give them to both. 6'8", Jesus plead the pure blood to both. If you're speaking to me personally, absolutely to both. And I'm going to share this with you since you brought that up. Here's something I want you to know regarding me. BS. You want to call in? See, I'm done with my real subject. I'm done with that. But if you want to call in because you said BS, you're welcome to do that. I had this conversation tonight. I got a little while longer. I'll give you that time. I will give you that time if you want to call in. Fight is not with flesh and blood. Who said a fight was with flesh and blood? I didn't say that. Principalities and spirits in high places, right? If you want to call in, you're welcome to do that. Jesus owed me $12.15. I added the 15 cent in there. I did. Let's meet up and catch the hands. Oh, come on, Biz. Come on, Biz. No, but to the person 6'8", I got a little time. And I'm willing to have that conversation with you because I've already discussed the things that I felt was necessary for those who wanted to get a little insight, those who wanted to get a little feel in regards to masonry, what it is that they're probably looking for, and maybe even want to join. I've done that. But 6'8", if you want to call, we can continue your conversation. Absolutely. I'm good. I am so good right now. I am so in a place of peace. Okay? A lot of people can't say that. And I'm fortunate enough to say right now, in this moment, this time in my life, I'm in a place of peace. A lot of people are kicking doors down. They are going through some hard times right now. People have lost their homes in Los Angeles. They have lost their homes on the East Coast to hurricanes. They have lost their home to floods and a whole lot of other stuff, man. No, I'm rolling with it. Absolutely, I'm rolling with it. Call it what you want, but we all good. Absolutely. Between good and evil. I'm gonna share this with you. Just food for thought. Just food for thought. Whenever something good happens to you, most of us say, "Oh, thank Jesus." When one door closed, God would open another door. That's what I hear. That's what we get, right? That's what we get. But then you tend to forget. The scripture tells you that God is the creator of everything, good and evil. He's the giver of life and death. Think on that for a minute. Just for a minute. Let that marinate in there. Oh man, that ain't nothing but Satan creeping in. That ain't nothing but Satan. Granted, I know this is an avatar. This body is an avatar. The thing that lives in us, the breath, the ooh-ah, the ruah, as they call it, the breath of life that is manifested in us, because if that breath doesn't come back as it goes out, you dead. So the breath of life that lives in us, the thing that we don't see because we're looking out of these windows, and this is the avatar we see that has been given to us, but the very essence of us that dwells in the house of the Lord, that is built with, that is not built by hands. This thing right here, this kingdom right here, where God lives, breathes day and night. People keep asking what God is at, and they look in the mirror every day. I'm just saying. I mean, that's a little scoop for you. Let me catch up. Man, y'all on one. Y'all are on one. Greetings. Look, I'm gonna get ready to log off. It's been great. It's been fun. I could have went somewhere else with that. 6'8" didn't want to call in, and that's all right. But I believe, and I hope that you have gotten something out of this tonight, man. Go back and watch it again, and maybe you'll be able to grab a little bit out of it. Something that's going to help you in your Masonic journey. I want to send a big shout out to my man, brother Nico Sanchez, to my brother out of New York, from Blue Magic jurisdiction, the lodge out of New York. Man, I don't know why I forgot your name. Anyway, to my friends over in Florida, to the Most Wishful Scottish Rite Grand Lodge out of Florida, to the Most Wishful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Florida, that's AF and AM, to HB Turner down in Texas, to Sunrise Grand Lodge down in Texas, to the Most Wishful Scottish Rite Grand Lodge down in Texas. Yeah, I'm hitting them all. To the Most Wishful St. Anthony's Grand Lodge in Texas, to the Most Wishful St. Anthony's Grand Lodge here in California, Hiram Tyree Grand Lodge in California, to my PH brothers, to the National Grand Lodge, to all of you. It doesn't even matter. To all the craft, to all the sisters, much love. I hope you have a great day and a great evening. Please go back and watch. Until next time, peace and be well. And whatever you do, continue the journey. I'm out.